Yay, it's Friday. I know for those of you who are in Guam, you're looking forward to the weekend. And let's hope that it is a nice, bright, and sunny one. We really dodged a bullet with the tropical storm passing by. Thank goodness it wasn't a typhoon because we don't want reminders of Marwar. That was like last year. So thank goodness. So anyway, hi, I'm happy to be here. This is Becky Tovis with Crafty Chamarita. And as always, if you're watching me live or you're catching me on the replay, thank you so much for carving out some of your day to spend with me. So today I'm going to be showing you two stamp sets that are from the mini catalog. That's what I'll be featuring for the next few Fridays. And I like these stamp sets. They caught my eye right away because they're meant really for warmer climates. So unlike the people in the States and in Europe where it's cold and nice and cuddly weather during the wintertime, on Guam, we just have heat. So, and those of you who are in the South Pacific, because you're going to be experiencing your summer during this time, right? You're coming out of your winter season. Is that what it is? So anyway, I'm excited to show you these two stamp sets and hopefully inspire you to make these cards. All right, so let me go ahead and switch my screen. And this time I'll remember to press the button hard enough so that it goes to my workspace. I'm noticing with my system here, I have to press the buttons harder in order for it to work, but it's okay. You know, as long as they work, that's all I'm grateful for. So before I start showing you the stamp set, I do want to remind everyone that our mini catalog open house will be happening next week. Can't believe it. When we were planning it, it seemed so far away, but it's just this Saturday, and it's going to be at the Sinahanya Mayor's Complex from 2 to 5. You don't have to be there for the whole time. In fact, somebody was saying they have to leave early. Absolutely. You know, you don't have to stay for the full 3 hours. It's really meant for you to come and see the different products that are available in the mini catalog, as well as samples that we've made. So I'll be hosting this event with Sandra Lowe. She's my partner in crime whenever we do these open houses. And then we're also going to have make and takes for you to play around with. And then, of course, we're going to have great food and prizes, lots of prizes. But you do need to pre-register. And as a reminder, if you pre-register by tomorrow, which is the 14th, Saturday, Guam time, then you'll get a free gift, a special gift in your goodie bag. So we really hope that you'll join us. It's guaranteed to be a fun afternoon of crafting with like-minded people and enjoying each other's company, right? So excited for that. All right, so let me go ahead, and this is the flyer that we've been putting out for the mini open house. And let me show you the products that I'll be featuring in the new catalog. You can find them on page, I didn't memorize the page, I just put a post-it. You can find them on page 54 and 55. So one of them is called Snowman Hugs, and it looks like this. This is the stamp set. And then the other one is called Surfing Santa, and it looks like this. So you can see, I think when I talked during my unboxing, I mentioned that I gravitated towards these stamps because of these two images, which are so appropriate. I know when I do the craft fairs, a lot of people always ask me to make cards that are, you know, if I have cards from Guam, Merry Christmas cards from Guam. And these cards lend themselves very well to that. And I'll show you how, right? Okay, so I'm also going to be showing you a really easy and simple fun fold. I mean, it really is easy. Sorry, let me grab some water. Oh my goodness. I'm starting early with my voice not cooperating with me. So when I first did this, I started off with the standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I used the basic white cardstock. And then I realized it really wasn't thick enough. So I recommend that you use the thick cardstock for the base, because this is all that's going to be holding the back of the card together. Okay. And then what I did was I already scored this one. So this is 8.5 by 11. I scored it at 4.25. And the reason why I scored the whole sheet was to make it easier for me when I cut it. So we're going to be cutting this down, and we're going to cut it at 2.75. So it's basically taking the 5.5 and cutting it in half. So out of this one strip of paper, I'll be able to get 4 of the fun fold pieces. Okay, so 2.75. Now my trimmer is not very straight these days, so that's why I don't line it up against the top. So instead I use these grid lines here to help me. So let me just cut it all out at one time, so that way you could see what I'm talking about. So I've got 2 pieces here. Remember, I'm cutting them at 2.75. And this, you guys, is really is a super easy fun fold. Okay, so I've got 4 pieces ready to work with, right? Okay. And then what I did, and I cut this in ahead of time, is I cut a piece of designer series paper. You can use anything that you want. I used the Take a Bow DSP. It looks like that because it has Christmas, it has Christmas colors in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of 4.525, and I'm just going to use my, okay, I'm trying to figure out which side should I use for my card. This side or this side? Decisions. I think I use the green side. Okay, I use the green side. It really doesn't matter. Probably for my next card, I'll turn it around and I use the other side. So I'm just going to get my Tombow adhesive, and I'm going to adhere it down to my card base. Speaking of Tombow, wasn't that a neat trick that I shared with you? Oh my goodness, about when you are down. Okay, don't laugh, you guys, okay? So this is how I hold my Tombow glue. I know it looks kind of gross in the inside, right? Because all the glue has gone into it. But I keep it upside down. And so when the glue is already, it's getting hard to squeeze out, I literally put it between my legs to warm it up so that it can thin out the glue and I can get more out of it. And it really does work. But as I mentioned, when I did that tip, make sure that when you use the glue at that point, you use it over large surfaces, not the skinny ones, because the glue is a little bit thinner, so it'll run a little bit faster. Okay, so I've got my card base ready to go, and now I'm going to work on the fun fold. So I'm going to use this stamp set, Snowman Hugs, because I really love this snowman. He's meant to look like a scarecrow wearing Hawaiian print, right? Now, because I'm going to be using markers, I'm going to be using the Stampin' Up! Markers to color. I'm not going to be using the alcohol blends, because what will happen with the alcohol blends, if you do use it, the color will seep through to the back. So if you decide that you want to use it, you have to put another layer on top, so that way you don't see the colors going through, okay? And because I am using markers, which are water-based, then the image that I'm going to stamp cannot be water-based ink. So I'm going to be using Stays On for this one. So just a heads up to everybody here, for the catalog open house, you're going to be making this card, right? Because I thought, when I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my live, I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just kind of show everyone the card that we're going to be doing? So hopefully it'll entice you to want to go, right? So Stays On, you can use it for anything. It's a more permanent ink than the regular Memento. So I'm just going to make sure that it's inked up really well. And I just opened it up just so that it's a flat surface. Here you go. I have a little bit of black there, but you know what? Yeah, it's okay. Or you know what I can also do if I don't like it? I'll just flip it around. Let's try this again. And this time I won't press so hard. this part is going to be glued to the back of the card, so you're not going to see it. And I cannot clean this right now because I have to use my Stays On cleaner, and I don't have that handy. So when you're using Stays On ink, regular water won't take it out. You have to use the Stays On cleaner. Okay, all right, much better. I don't have that piece of black showing. So let me just close my ink here so it doesn't dry out. And now the fun part is to color. So I'm going to use these 4 colors because it matches with the paper. So this one actually matches with the paper. It's Real Red and Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to use Poppy Parade. And this is, I just wanted to use a yellow for the bird. This is So Saffron. Okay, sorry you guys, don't mind me. It's going to be difficult to kind of color with the camera in my head. Unfortunately for my Real Red, this part has already dried up, so I'm just going to use the bigger tip, which is going to be slightly more difficult because it's a finer area to color. So I'm going to color the hibiscus red, because not only is it the natural color of the flower, it's also the Christmas color, and it matches the DSP. So one thing I appreciate about Stampin' Up, and you'll hear it all the time, is the coordination of colors. So I have the Real Red marker, I have the Real Red ink, Real Red cardstock, and they're all meant to coordinate with one another. So don't mind me, you guys, my coloring is not the best, and when I'm rushed to do it, it's even it's not as perfect, right? Okay, all right, I'm gonna use the Granny Apple Green, and I found that if I kind of go around the image first with my marker, it makes the coloring easier. And that's going to go for the collar. I'm going to do the same thing for this side. So I'm just kind of doing the outline against the flower, and then I'll color it through. Not the best coloring. I'm not being careful. I'm just trying to get it done, because I don't want you guys to have to waste your time watching me color. Right? Okay. Have you guys started making your Christmas cards yet? I haven't. The only ones I've made really are the ones for samples for the open house. Okay. So I think that's good. Okay, and then I'm going to color his hat. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but the hat has little speckles of color. And I decided to use Poppy Parade for the hat so that it doesn't cover those speckles. Because if I use Real Red, it'll cover it, and you won't be able to see it. And I like those speckles of color. It just makes the image look a little bit more interesting, right? Now the markers don't color as well as the alcohol blends, but they still work. They still do the job. They get the job done. And then I'm going to use, what did I say? So Saffron? I'm going to use So Saffron for the bird. And again, I chose a lighter color for the bird so you could see the outline of the bird. I've tried using different colors with this, and it just really covers the image of the bird, and I didn't want that to happen. So I chose a light color. And because I'm using So Saffron here, I'm going to pull the image together by coloring the lei in So Saffron. You can use any color you want. Okay, I realized that I miss a portion here right near the collar, so let me just go back in, fill that in. All right, very easy, right? Easy peasy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this image and we're going to put it on our base. You can use anything that you want. You all know that Tombow is my adhesive of choice. So I'm just going to, generously added the Tombow. And I'm going to put this down. Hopefully it's straight. I'm just going to give it a minute or second here or some time to kind of dry. And then you're going to notice that sometimes when you do this and you turn it over, you know, either because of alignment or whatever, you may see some of the cards sticking out. And if that happens, just take your scissors and cut it off. So this one doesn't look like it's too much. There's only like a sliver here. So let me take my scissors and I'm just going to trim it really, really lightly. Yeah, there isn't that much there. Okay, now we're going to do our sentiment. So the sentiment that I chose to use from the stamp set, and it says sending warm hugs and happiness. Let me make sure I stamp the right side. Because sometimes when you cut, you can see which side has been cut. So I don't want to use that side when I stamp. And hopefully I can make this straight. Okay. Well, it's not the straightest, but you know what? It works, so it's okay. I'm going to go with it. And then I'm just going to adhere it to my base here. Now, if you're asking about the measurements, really, you guys, the measurements just depend on the sentiments that you use. So I just kind of wing it. You know, I made a card similar to this, so I knew beforehand what dimensions to use. So that's why everything is pre-cut, so you don't have to watch me cut it. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in. Put it on. I'm going to put it on the bottom. And there you go. The card is done. Or is it done? Okay, now I'm going to add something else to it. It's not a Stampin' Up! Product, but remember how I started my video by saying people are always asking for Christmas cards from Guam, right? And I don't have a stamp that says, sorry, I don't have a stamp that says Merry Christmas from Guam, but I do have a stamp that says half a day. So guess what we are going to do? We are going to add the sentiment of half a day to our card. So if you're not from Guam and you're not familiar with our saying, half a day is just really how we say hello. It's an overall greeting for hello, half a day, how are you? Kind of like how Hawaiians use aloha. Aloha can have so many meanings other than just hi, right? All right, so I've got my half a day here. And because I made a card similar to this already, I knew what the dimensions were going to be and I pre-cut everything. Let me just make sure that it's in the right place. I'm going to put my glue and then I'm going to put it on my card. So there's the card. Half a day sending warm hugs and happiness. Isn't that perfect for sending a card from the tropics? And I opted not to put anything on the inside because this is where you're going to put your sentiment. So I didn't want to, because the space is already cut down, decrease the space by not using the entire card size. I didn't want to take up any more space. So I just left it blank. Right? So this is the card that you're going to make if you decide to join us in our open house, and I hope you do. All right, so let me go ahead and show you other cards that I made. This is something very similar. The only thing that's different here is that you can tell I played around with the colors. So this is the designer series paper. It's a little bit different. And here I made the bird melon mambo. um, instead of the So Saffron. I don't know, now that I did the So Saffron compared to Melon Mambo, I think I really like the Melon Mambo. So I think I may go back to that for our open house. Okay. All right. So those are two of the cards. Let me move this out of the way. I'm trying to put the cards where the glare is so that you don't see the glare from the light. Okay, so here is the other stamp in that stamp set. This one has a snowman on it. And then what I did with the snowman was, instead of making this a portrait size card, I made it a landscape. So that way the snowman can fit in this portion here. Okay. Now, here's a little twist on the fun fold. So you can actually put this portion here on an actual card base. So that's what I did for this card. So here's a little fun fold here. Then I put the sentiment, "You make my heart happy." And then I just stamped "Merry Christmas" on the inside, right? So that this can be used as a Christmas card. Cute, right? Okay. Here's the other one with the other stamp set. This is from Surfing Santa. So here I use the Full of Life Designer Series paper. Here you have the Santa on a surfboard. I'm not sure if I made the waves go the correct way or the other way. It's okay, right? I have to play around with that to see. And then I just use the coordinating colors that went along with this paper. So this one is Pumpkin Pie, Granny Apple Green, and this one is Balmy Blue, right? Okay. Here's another one with the Surfing Santa, more Christmas colors. And here I added the half a day and sending warm hugs and happiness. This is the sentiment from the Snowman hugs. And I put this half a day thing on top. And then this last one is not with the fun fold, but when I was playing around and doing my little flyer for the open house. Was it the open house? Oh no, for a class that's coming up. I just stamped this real quick and I colored it in, and I'm like, oh, I really like the colors. This is Melon Mambo and Shaded Spruce. I know they're not Christmas colors, but I know it's different when you look in the computer, right? It looks a little bit orange, but this is actually Melon Mambo. Sending warm hugs and happiness. And this one I just put a white cardstock inside. I'm not sure if I'm going to stamp anything in here, but that's it, right? So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing these projects. And if you want to get any of these projects, please feel free to check out my store. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. If you want to join the open house, please register with me. Tomorrow's the last day for the early bird special. You can still register after tomorrow. It just means you won't get the early bird prize, right? And we want to make sure we give you that prize. So register. We're going to have a great time together. Okay, I think that's it for today. I'm trying to remember if there's anything I need to tell you about what's going on with Stampin' Up, but it eludes me. So until next week, Friday, everyone, have a wonderful week ahead and take care. Adios.